I'm Dr. Obayashi. This is Julie Hafazie.
Hello.
She's a certified Pilates instructor.
Well, thank you, Jeff, for inviting me. This is a really good cause, so I'm really happy to be involved in this. My name is Julie. I am a qualified personal trainer and Pilates instructor. I've been working in the industry for over 15 years. I grew up here in Canada in Steveston, was always into sports as a kid, then had a couple niggling injuries and had to call it quits for those things. Moved myself to Australia as an adult, lived in Australia for 17 years. I had 2 babies, had some pelvic floor stuff, so I specialize in pelvic floor, core stability, any kind of injuries. So today we're going to focus in on our core stability and finding our pelvic floor. So this is an overview of what we'll go through today. I'm going to go a little quick so we can get down on our mats and move through exercises. So we'll go through the history of Pilates. So Joseph Pilates is the man who invented Pilates. So he developed Pilates in the early 1900s. He was one of 9 children, grew up in poverty. His first client was actually his mother, who was often near crippled by the demands of domestic labor. He showed her stretches, gymnastic exercises to help alleviate her pain. Joseph spent time in an English internment camp at the beginning of World War I. He helped rehabilitate his fellow soldiers using this form of exercise. So here are the different types of Pilates. You've got mat Pilates, which you use a mat, which we're going to do today. Then you've got reformer Pilates. This is what I currently teach. With this reformer machine, so you can strengthen your thighs, you can strengthen your knees. There's a lot you can do there. You can also use it to stretch. Then you can use it to work your arms. And then if you bring your legs up, you're going to be working your core as well. So there's a ton you can do. That's just a really quick overview. Here are some of the benefits of Pilates. It's a mind-body exercise method. So again, with those machines, if you're doing one leg and you start to notice there's a difference in the 2 legs, that's where you start to notice your imbalances. You may notice all sorts of things on those machines because it highlights it in a safe way, where you're not going to be continuing to injure it. You're going to be able to see it, feel it, and say, hold on, that doesn't feel good. Whereas when you're running, you're generally just running and you're not able to have that mind-body connection to say, hold on, my one leg is stronger than the other. So it's often explained as working from the inside out because you move a lot slower in Pilates. Unlike those kind of faster paced sports, you're moving a lot slower. So you're able to focus in on the muscles, work them for longer, so it helps to build that muscle more. It's suitable for all ages and fitness levels. There's modifications with most of the exercises. You can take it really slow and then start to build up to a really high level. I teach some very, very, very fit people, and I teach some people who are just recovering from back surgery and all sorts of stuff. And I can give this one the same exercise as this one, but just give modifications. So it's really cool that way. It's used to strengthen your core. It's used to increase your muscle strength, so you can really change your body composition with it. It's used for stress management because you're breathing a lot, you're focusing in on your breath, which just relaxes everyone. It's great for anyone with osteoarthritis or arthritis because it's a low impact exercise. You can increase your flexibility, you can ease back pain, you can stabilize your spine and improve your posture. So how often should I do Pilates is a question I get asked almost daily. If your goal is to stay out of pain, maybe 2 times a week, maybe 3, depends how many days you have available to do it. I like the 3-2-1 method for myself. I believe 3 strength training sessions a week, 2 to 3 Pilates sessions, and those are interchangeable. So Pilates is strength training. And then 1 harder cardio session, and then I like to walk every day because I love dogs and I have a dog. But I mean, for Clients, it's always different. It depends what their goal is. So Joseph Pilates' famous saying is, in 10 sessions, you'll feel the difference. In 20 sessions, you'll see the difference. In 30 sessions, you'll have a whole new body. That's known as the 10-20-30 rule. A lot of people think Pilates is just your core or just your abs. It's not. It's your whole body, as I showed you with those machines. But today we're going to focus in on your powerhouse. So that's going to be from the top of your rib cage to the base of your glutes. So this is just a little guide of what we're working here. You've got your rectus abdominis, which is the six pack, which everyone wants. Truthfully, I don't think it's the most important muscle at all to work. You want to go into your transverse abdominis. That's in my opinion, the deepest muscle layer. Its main role is to stabilize the trunk and maintain that internal abdominal pressure. You've also got your external oblique muscles, which are on the side of the rectus abdominis. Those allow you to twist and turn. Then you've got your internal abdominal obliques. Those are the ones when you see those really ripped people with the bones kind of shooting out from their hips, that's those muscles there. Your posterior abdominal wall consists of the quadratus lumborum, your iliopsoas muscles, which is your iliacus and psoas major, and then you've got your psoas minor muscles. So let's get started on just some postural alignment to start. So we're gonna stand with our feet nice and even under your hips there. And then just spread your toes out. Check what's happening with your feet though. Are they turning in? Are they turning out? So you want to check that that's nice and even. Then we're going to come up to those knees. If your knees are caving in, that means your feet are caving in. So check in with that. Just make sure everything's nice and even there. Then you're going to come up to those hips. You can put your hands on your hips. Sometimes you'll be a little slanted, you'll be leaning on one side. Generally, if you've got an imbalance or you've got pain in your hips, you'll lean onto one side. So you want to try and come even through both legs, both hips, both glutes. Then you come up to your pelvis and your core. You want to just make sure not over arch in your back like this, not tucking under. Just how you naturally kind of stand is perfect. Then just take a really big shoulder roll. Think about rolling your shoulders down your back. That'll give you that perfect posture in your upper body. Often, as you get into the day, you'll start to hunch forward. So just before you start Pilates, you want to find that perfect posture. Now we're just going to take a really nice, big, deep bend in our knees. Again, going to that perfect bend. You're going to bend through your knees, hinge from your hips, and then take a big deep breath in. Inhale, reach up to the sky. This should feel good. And then you're going to exhale, sweep your hands back down to your hips. Start to tuck your chin to your chest. We're going to all roll down through our spine, trying to continue to keep those feet really heavy and square. And then just let your body sort of fall heavy over your thighs. Just get that nice stretch into the back of your legs. And then we're going to roll back up. So you want to roll back up through your spine. Keep your head, neck, and shoulders heavy to the top. So your arms are just dangling. And then you roll back up to tall. So that's a classic Pilates move. It's called a roll down. It just gets that spine rolling. You never want to lift anything like that, but you do want your spine to move like that. You want to find that roll through your spine up and down without weight.
I think this one's very important because I know I lean more to right leg.
Yeah.
Is if that chain is tight,
Yeah.
this is where it accumulates
100%.
so if you're standing in line, if you're at work at a computer, if you're going to do weight training and you're going to start some curls, pick up the dumbbell, stand there, align first. It only takes seconds, and then go. When do you time the breathing on this?
Yeah, so let's go back into our stand. Just find those feet nice and even. So I breathe in as I'm coming up. And then you get that lots of air through the rib cage there. And then you exhale as your arms are coming back down, and then you tuck your chin. You're continuing to exhale. And then you can just breathe naturally as you're down here. You can then take a bigger deep breath in. And then you exhale as you roll back up through your spine. I generally say you exhale when you exert, you inhale when you come in. We're gonna lie down on our mat now, and then I'm gonna just start to help you guys find that spinal position and your pelvic floor. So pelvic floor is really important for men and women. A lot of people think it's just women, but it's definitely not. So you're just gonna, again, just find yourself lying totally naturally, how your body naturally falls. You've got your knees bent, your feet are nice and flat on the floor. And then we're gonna start to tip your tailbone away from your mat, and then press your tailbone back down into the mat. I like to imagine in that natural arch of my lower back, there's a little grape. So I'm pressing that grape into the mat, and then that grape is not being pressed into the mat. So you're just tipping. So now you're just gonna find that natural position where your tailbone falls heavy on your mat, and you've got that little natural arch in your lower back. Your ribs are heavy on your mat as well, and then your shoulders are down and back. So this is called neutral spine. You're gonna start to bring your right foot off the floor, keeping a 90-degree angle line. So this is called tabletop. Place that right foot back down, and then bring your left foot to tabletop. Place that foot back down. So this is starting to work into those muscles there, very gently. And then once you have that right leg to tabletop, hold it there. Bring your left leg to tabletop. Squeeze your knees and ankles together, so squeeze everything together. And then bring both feet down. Now we're gonna do the same thing in imprinted spine. I find my lower abdominals a little bit more in this position. So you're gonna tuck your tailbone slightly, bring your right leg to tabletop, bring your left leg to tabletop, hold here. So this one, I find I can activate those lower abdominals a little more. Let's add on even more. Instead of keeping your leg bent and tapping down, you're gonna reach your right leg out long and then come back through tabletop. Your back should be squishing that grape. The more you do it, the more it'll just be like, boom, there it is. That's the feeling I want. I want my belly button to go through my body to my spine, but up. And that's that pelvic floor lifting through. Or you imagine scooping up a cup of water from your pelvic floor. Another one I like to do, which we can practice now, is finding your T-zone. So this one, it's not gonna be a lot of work. So you're just lying natural, neutral spine. So you've got a line going from your hip to your hip, and then you've got a line going from your belly button down to your pubic bone. So it makes a T. The problem with the pelvic floor is you can't really demonstrate it. You've got to just find it yourself. But you're gonna put your hands just between your hip bones. You're in that natural neutral spine. You're taking a really big deep breath in through your nose. You're expanding your rib cage. Then as you exhale, I like to exhale sharply through a straw. And find those fingertips getting a little bit of pressure by pulling on those little tiny muscles just between your hip bones. You're trying to pull those together. Those muscles just between your hip bones just naturally fired up. That's what I call your T-zone. Sometimes they fire straight away, and they're the most annoying muscles to work because they're small. No one can see them. So let's try and add that in to those toe taps we did. So you're gonna take a deep breath in. You can stay in neutral spine or go into that imprinted spine if that felt better. And then find that tabletop position moving side to side. You can take your deep breath in as you lower your leg. Exhale as you pull your leg up to tabletop. And then an add-on for this would be to be holding tabletop And then you can start to come into what we call hundreds. Reach your hands up over your head, holding that perfect tabletop position. You're gonna sweep your hands to your hips. You're gonna bring your head, neck, and shoulders up. Reach your fingertips towards me, and then you pulse your hands down. So now you're working those upper abdominals while those lower abdominals continue to work. And let's relax down. So that's called 100. So I'm kind of showing you guys some pretty classic Pilates moves. Another really, really good one, another great one for any spinal issues and core work is called a dead bug. But you will come into that tabletop position with our legs again. Then you're gonna reach your fingertips up to the sky over your shoulders. Then you're gonna reach your left arm out behind you as you reach your right leg out in front of you. And then you pull back through center and switch. Nice. And then we're gonna come into one of my favorite exercises because I think it's good for everyone, which is called a bridge. So I'm gonna hand out some props that we can all use. Jeff, you're gonna put that around your thighs above your knees. Everyone has something. You're either squeezing in towards something, which is gonna work your inner thighs more, or you're pushing out, which is gonna help you find your glutes a little more. So we wanna find your heels really close to your bottom. Your arms are gonna be nice and long and strong by your side. You want your palms facing down. Take a big deep breath in, expand your rib cage. Then as you exhale, you're gonna tuck your tailbone. We're not gonna stop at the imprinted spine. We're gonna keep rolling up to our shoulders. You wanna reach through the crown of your head so you're not jammed up in your neck there. And you wanna really drive through your heels. You should be able to wiggle your toes off the floor there. You wanna think about pulling your heels to your bottom to your heels. If you've got something between your thighs, you're just squeezing it. If you've got a band on, you're gonna start to push out. So this is a bridge. You can start to reach your fingertips up to the sky. This de-weights those arms and adds a little bit of instability. Nice. Adding on even more. Lower down towards your mat, and then squeeze through your glutes, drive through those heels, press back up. You lower down, you lift up. And then as you exhale, you want to roll through your upper back, your mid back, your lower back. So that's a bridge. I'm going to show an even harder option is another prop that's used in Pilates, is adding in some sort of unstable surface under your feet. So you can do your bridge on a Bosu. Some people do it on a bouncy ball. And then just for the viewers at home, I'm gonna show you how you can start to make things more difficult. You're gonna bring one leg to tabletop and then the other. So this goes back to just adding. We'll just go for a nice cat-cow because that feels really nice. So just come kneeling on your mat. You just bring your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. You tuck your tailbone under. You imagine there's a big beach ball under your belly. You scoop away from that beach ball. You look towards your knees with your head. And then as you exhale, you drop your belly down towards the mat. Nice. Then we're gonna start to come into what we call tabletop. Much like that dead bug we did, this is called a bird dog. Don't ask me, I didn't make up all the names. In this position, you can imagine a cup of coffee or whatever you like to drink on your back. Press a little heavier into your right hand. You're gonna reach your left arm out in front of you. And then reach your right leg back behind you. Again, a very, very safe exercise and a very good way to work your core without putting any tension into places it shouldn't be. You can start to shift your arm and leg away from your body, then pull it back in. That would be a way to make it harder. Yeah. Or you can start to bend in, scoop your belly out, and extend back out. So what we're gonna do now is come into our plank challenge. I'm gonna show you guys a couple different plank options. You're gonna stay in that tabletop position. You're gonna tuck your toes under. You're gonna push your chest away from the mat. You're gonna bring your knees off the mat and you're holding here. In my opinion, this is one of the hardest planks to hold. Another option is to come down onto your forearms. Go, bring your knees back. Come into that modified plank, push your hips forward. This is your modified plank position. Another option is to push back, bring those knees off the floor, hold here. Another option, if you don't like being on your forearms, is your plank here. So when you're ready, let's find our plank. That's it. So that's the bear plank. You want to imagine you're trying to pop a pen out from your shoulder blades. That's good. You guys all just did very well. Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much, Julie. That was great. It's a lot of good exercise. I think we're all going to be feeling muscles we haven't felt for in a while.